Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of the New Breed Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, old school Browns fan, Mike Mitchell. And this is my co-host.
I am Grady Mitchell. I am a co-host. Browns fan. New breed.
New Breed. We thought we would take a minute to thank all of you who have been listening, who have been staying with us, who've been watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, soon to be hopefully Pandora. But we're on anywhere you can get us, anywhere you can find us. Again, I am a dad. This is my son. And we're just talking about the Browns. We're not paid for this. We don't make a lot of money off this yet, but hopefully someday we will. But our opinions are our own, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun with it. We're always looking for new things to do and possibly new segments. We'll probably try a lot of stuff out in the off season, but right now we're going to get to recent headlines. Intro.
No.
So I have to say the biggest headline of the week so far, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's not to you. The biggest headline of the week so far is Deshaun Watson requesting a trade. So Deshaun Watson comes out and says, I don't care who you want to hire as the coach. I don't care who you want to hire as the GM. I want out of Houston. And there's part of me that understands it. There's part of me that doesn't. New head coach, though, David Culley said, and I quote, he is a Houston Texan. I want him to be a Houston Texan. The reason I'm in this position today is because I know he's going to be a Houston Texan. The GM, the new GM, Nick Caserio, organizationally, we want to reiterate our commitment to Deshaun Watson. We have zero interest in trading this player. Grady, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think it's that whole organization is crazy. That's mental. Like, they didn't have they're coming off a terrible season that after going to the playoffs and winning against the Bills, and then next season going 4-10. Well, whatever they went, I know it wasn't good though. They just did awful this year, and that's why Deshaun Watson wants out. That's also because of their coaching staff, which they didn't have because Bill O'Brien was not the best. But yeah, I think it's just crazy, especially the talk about who he's getting traded to. Some of them.
Well, I think everybody has an opinion on Deshaun Watson, and I think my opinion tends to follow along the lines of Pete Smith, writer SI for the Browns. I don't see him as being a good fit on a team like in the AFC North. I don't think he'd be good on the Steelers. I don't think he'd be good on the Ravens, and I don't think he'd be as good in the Bengals or the Browns. There are at least 6 games a year that you're going to play outside in the North. And I just don't think he's got that chutzpah, if you will, to do that. The dogpounddaily.com tweeted out, or at least shared a tweet, kind of started the ball rolling, that the Browns should entertain a trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, I think the level of passion for the response, including a response from Baker Mayfield himself, is what makes this completely interesting. You have fans that are on both sides of the spectrum. Some are saying, yes, let's give up everything and get Deshaun Watson. He's what we're missing. And then you have fans, much like myself, who are like, are you kidding me? This is this season in the midst of COVID, learning a new offense with new coordinators and a head coach. Baker Mayfield basically had one of the best seasons of a Cleveland Browns quarterback in history, the history of the franchise. He's already staked that mark. I know I'm kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but CBS Sports HQ tweeted that Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in Browns franchise history through the first 3 seasons. He ranks first in passing touchdowns with 75, ranks first in passing yards, 11,115. He ranks second in pass rating, 89.1, and second in completion percentage, 61.9, and second in wins with 23.
Only one behind.
Yeah, Bernie Kosar had 24 wins in 3 seasons. He's literally Bernie Kosar level, and yet no one, at least younger than me, right? If you're 25 years or younger, or even 35 years and younger, you don't remember Bernie Kosar. You don't remember good Browns football. You don't remember consecutive AFC championship games. You don't remember winning the North. You just don't. And I think that it shows in the level of response. What's your take on trading Baker for Deshaun Watson?
Like I've said before, Baker Mayfield has completely changed his whole organization. He is a true leader, and he has clearly matured, and he is that guy who will just step up for your team and make things right when they go wrong. He deserves a starting spot. At the beginning of the year, there were speculations. They were like, is he good enough? Like the first game against the Ravens, people were really doubting him. But I think after week 6, he looked completely different as a quarterback, and he turned into a top 10 quarterback this season. I think
you're absolutely spot on. I think anybody else, and I go back to and I don't remember the year of the draft, but you basically had Eli Manning drafted, I believe, by the Chargers, said, I'm not going to show up. And so the Giants trade their pick for Eli Manning to the Chargers, and the Chargers take Phillip Rivers. You had a kid who never even played a single game for a franchise and said, I'm not coming. I'm not showing up. Now, granted, Eli turned out to be a decent quarterback. Maybe some say better than Peyton, maybe not. He had more Super Bowl wins than Peyton. But I see Baker Mayfield in 3 years. He's had 4 coaches. He's had different coordinators virtually every year. He has not once turned his back on anybody. He's not once turned his back on the franchise. And he has continued to work and to get better, and he's being successful at it. I can't let that guy go. I can't turn my back on him. I just can't.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Also, hit us up with some comments. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what you think. I know it's a passionate response, and hopefully I'm open to anything. You can talk about it all you want. I'm going to tell you my side and where I feel and where I fit. And I think Baker should stay, and Baker should be the face of your franchise for a long time. The Browns have released a logo for next year for their 75th anniversary. 75 years they've been playing football in Cleveland, Ohio, and yet not once have we gone to a Super Bowl. Been close. We won a lot of championships back in the day before the Super Bowl era, but we have not been to a Super Bowl, and I'm really super stoked about the day we might. You had a chance to look at the logo. What do you think of it?
I think it looks very classic, very old. I mean, but I think it looks nice. Yeah, definitely nice.
It is almost a throwback kind of a logo. It's got the side view of the helmet, single bar, almost like a Jim Brown looking helmet, and the very, very classic, very clean. And also with that, Daryl Ryder, radio.com, writing for 92.3 The Fan, posted an article where there are going to include next year alternate uniforms for the 75th anniversary. Executive Vice President J.W. Johnson says that there are no details yet, but he hopes that the news gets out and that several of our Cleveland Browns fans will submit some design ideas. So I'm kind of excited about, I'm a uniform guy, very particular about the way things look. I think the brown pants should go away forever. by the way. Just my opinion. But orange pants stay, white pants stay. You can alternate those in and out. Don't need brown pants. Only Deadpool thinks we need brown pants. But you'll have to look that one up, kids. But I think that it's really cool to think that there's going to be our classic look has been the classic look for a long time. So I'm really kind of interested to see what the what the alternate could be in a world where our alternates are what we've worn forever. So I think that's interesting. What do you think about a change in uniform?
I think it'd be very cool, especially this guy. He's crazy with uniforms. He has critics on everything with uniforms. As you heard, he hates the brown pants.
No brown pants.
He hates them.
Don't need brown pants. We had a chance. We just kind of got done watching a little bit of the Reese's Senior Bowl. No combine this year, so you're not going to get to look at any players or get a lot of information that way. You're talking about the Senior Bowl being where a lot of upperclassmen were able to kind of showcase, show off, and do some things in front of scouts. But outside of that, they're going to be hard pressed to pay attention to colleges' pro days. But Daniel Jeremiah, I noticed, gave here, I think it was just yesterday, Friday, gave his top 10 winners from the Reese's Senior Bowl. He said that Carlos Boogie Basham, defensive end out of Wake Forest, was one. Didn't really show up that much during the game. Michael Carter, running back from North Carolina, he did show up in the game. Too bad we don't need a running back. He's, I think, maybe a little undersized, but maybe a guy that you could put into a Tyreek Hill type of situation. Very shifty, very moves really well without the ball. Demetric Felton, running back / wide receiver from UCLA. I thought he looked great in the open field. Again, Senior Bowl coverages, you can only play cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. So you typically only had one person that was kind of press covering. The rest were kind of playing off. But in that scheme, I thought he did really good. He got the ball out in space, made a guy miss, made a touchdown. Richie Grant, safety from UCF, thought did a decent job. Robert Hainsey, offensive lineman from Notre Dame, thought he did a pretty good job in game. Cade Johnson, wide receiver from South Dakota State. I was really looking forward to seeing him more, but he never really got the ball, and got the ball like once or twice. Mac Jones must have had a great week of practice, but watching the game, I think everybody that they talked about had a great week of practice. So Mac Jones looked pretty good, did not play. Quinn Miners, an interior offensive lineman. He played some center and some guard in practices from Wisconsin Whitewater. Really made a name for himself against some big names, and did not play due to kind of an injury that Brian Flores did not feel was worth him getting in there. Quincy Roche, edge rusher from Miami, looked good. And Deontay Smith, offensive tackle from East Carolina, didn't see him much in the game. I thought one of my favorites to watch was Ifeatu Melifonwu, the corner, big corner, athletic corner from Syracuse. I've got him either day 1 or day 2 for the Browns. I love his size. I love his athleticism. He's got good. I say this in the best way possible, but he's got good hips. And I really like him. I loved, and I'm a purist at heart, so I still wish that there was a man-up running game, but I absolutely loved Ben Mason at fullback today. He never got a chance to catch the ball out of the backfield. It seemed like every time he would drag out, somebody was right there with him. But, man, when he would block, he made guys disappear. I'm talking D1 level, tackles, linebackers. They disappeared. There was one play.
Pancake.
He just absolutely pancaked the poor kid. But if you've got what you need, and Ben Mason is sitting there in round 6 or 7, I would love to see him on this squad. He can catch the ball, he can block, and would love to play special teams. I think he's a good spot there. I already kind of talked about Baker Mayfield being the best Browns quarterback in franchise history in the first 3 seasons. I encourage you to go look up the places he wasn't ranked first pass rating. He's ranked 2nd. completion percentage ranked second, and wins ranked second. Of course, we already told you that Bernie Kosar is the number one with wins with 24. I encourage you to go look up the other two, comment on those with us, and we'll see, or guess, and we'll see if you're right. We'll post some of that stuff on our social media. Did you know? Now, we have Madden 21. Just playing it just a second ago, at least he was. Did you know that you can play as your favorite Browns players with Madden NFL 21's free-to-play weekend? Yes, this weekend, EA.com is giving you a trial code. You can play Madden 21 all weekend. Now, I wish we probably would have uploaded this Friday night, but instead we're uploading it Saturday night. So maybe if you're in the snow area where you're going to get snowed in, download the trial code tonight, get Madden 21, and play the lights out of it while you're stuck in the snow tomorrow, right?
Yeah, play with your favorite Browns players, and as I've played Madden, just bully people with Nick Chubb.
It's absolutely true. And I saw a stat as we were talking, and Baker Mayfield had 700 passing yards in one game. It's kind of insane what he does. But Building the Browns. If you are a fan of the Cleveland Browns YouTube channel, Building the Browns is coming back this Sunday. Be sure to follow the Cleveland Browns official YouTube channel. They are coming back with Building the Browns this Sunday. Also, Coach Kevin Stefanski is adding to his hardware from the 2020-2021 season. He has been named Coach of the Year by 101 Awards, as well as, and we didn't mention this last week, but as well as picking up the award from the Sporting News and the Pro Football Writers Association as Coach of the Year as well. Looking forward to see what else Coach Stefanski might win. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's well deserved. The way he just came into a brand new team and literally just changed it entirely, coming off of a 6-10 season, going 11-5, and going further than just the division. No, not the divisional round. The wild card.
Okay.
The wild card round.
Won a wild card.
We won the wild card game and we went to the divisional round. Hard loss against the Chiefs, but well deserved.
I'm excited about the Super Bowl because you got to realize the Browns held the Kansas City Chiefs to 22 points. They are so far in the playoffs the only team that's actually somewhat controlled them and kind of sort of stopped them. If our offense could have gotten anything other than a 3-and-out that last possession, we would have been playing the Bills in the AFC Championship game. Can we do that? Can we go there and think about that? I mean, we don't have a bad football team. We've got some things to fix on defense. I think speed. We need more coverage. Again, we've talked about this before. We've got Denzel Ward, who we know is coming back. We don't have any idea if Greedy Williams is going to be back. We don't know how Grant Delpit's going to be. We don't know if we're going to sign Kevin Johnson or Terrence Mitchell. Safety is a huge hole. I mean, we got Ronnie Harrison, and then maybe Grant Delpit if he's healthy. You're probably sign Carl Joseph. Let him play that rover, and I think we'll be okay. We had a lot of hard mismatches. I think that ended up kind of showing up against the Chiefs, but I think we'll be okay. However, there's been a lot of reports and several writers have been initiating this conversation that it does not look like Larry Ogunjobi will be re-signed and come back next year. Give me your thoughts.
I think financially it's a smart move, but he's a great player, honestly. It's really sad to see him go. He's a great run stopper. He really reads the plays well. And he's just a great helper on that defensive line. So it'll be sad to see if he goes. Definitely will be heartbroken.
I think for the right deal, like maybe a 1 year, $4 or $5 million, something that can get him to stick around for another year might help us. We don't know if Andrew Billings is going to come back yet. We know that we have Jordan Elliott, Vincent Taylor. They did okay. I don't think Jordan Elliott's probably more of a 3 tech than he is a 0. Maybe more of a 0 than he is a 3. just size, length, and I think Larry's kind of built that same way. So it's going to depend on what Joe Woods wants out of that position. He's probably going to look for somebody that's almost Sheldon Richardson, that plays 3-tech, that can play opposite, and they can work those gaps that way. But I think Larry's probably more of a true zero or more of a nose than that, but can still give you depth, can still give you production. He was really good with the run, and I really think that it would be a mistake not to try and re-sign him. At least give him a 1-year deal, see what happens. If he doesn't want to take it, we love you, Larry. We love you. No matter where you go, you've got two fans right here.
Much love.
I think that is it so far.
I saw a stat today while watching the Senior Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has only lost one playoff game, and that was to Tom Brady. So this Super Bowl matchup is going to be very nice. We haven't given our predictions either.
No, that'll come. We can do that next week. We could probably do that on next Saturdays, right before the game. Give you time to think about it. Give you time to digest it. I still don't know who I'm taking.
Any injuries?
Yeah, I still don't know who I'm taking. I don't think you can pick wrong. I mean, you can, because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. But I think it's going to be a close, really well played game. I don't think. Okay, I'm just putting this out here now. I don't think what the Buccaneers defense does well, which is use Devin White and Levante David to blitz, is going to work against the Chiefs. I think that will hurt them. And Mahomes, who's good against the blitz, he'll pick them apart. Anything else? Any other headlines you got for me? All right. Moving on. That has been your headlines. Recent headlines. So I thought we would take this time and go to our favorite moments of the 2020 season. I didn't lay it out. This is very organic. Normally I'm very structured, but this is a section where, I have something that I want to say, but outside of that, it's very organic. So with that being said, Grady, what is one of your favorite moments of the 2020 season?
I've said this to you. One of my favorite moments of the 2020 season is Nick Chubb in Kareem Hunt's game against the Eagles. Nick Chubb's stiff arm against that 200-pound man and looking like Marshawn Lynch out there, breaking tackles and going all the way down the field. And then Kareem Hunt scoring a hurdle touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game, and I just loved watching that game.
I think as far as like games, I think the Eagles game was one of my favorites. Understaffed, we had guys missing. No Myles Garrett that game, and Olivier Vernon just blew up. And I think it was one of those moments. And by the way, that was a defensive tackle that he stiff armed. So it was probably a 300-pound man that he literally set down on the ground.
At least 200.
And if you watch it again, he's literally stiff arming a guy, and he's not even looking at him. He's looking ahead, like, where am I going to go next? Who's got next? Right. It was just impressive.
Who wants more?
I said in our previous conversation about favorite moments of the 2020 season, my favorite moment was winning a wild card playoff game.
Yep.
In Pittsburgh against the Steelers. We have not won in Pittsburgh since, I don't think,
17 years.
17 years we haven't won a game in Pittsburgh. Not only did we win a game in Pittsburgh, but we won a game in the wild card round of the playoffs and beat them, just wipe the floor with them. Almost let them come back, but still, it was an impressive win for us. And I can't, that has to be my favorite moment. I remember going into that game thinking we don't have a chance. They're getting all their starters back. We're going to show up well. It's not going to be a blowout. I just don't want to get blown out. I want us to be competitive. And
it ended up being a blowout
to start the way we did
for us,
going crazy with that fumble recovery for the touchdown on the first play of the game. It just got better from there, and it was an incredible night for Browns fans. Old Browns fans like me, I believe, really appreciated that. And I really,
and new Browns fans,
yeah. You've never seen us win a game. Literally, you've never seen the Browns win a game in Pittsburgh. Not once.
Never seen us win against Pittsburgh at all. Wait, no.
The week before we did.
Yeah,
we did,
yeah.
We did win a game last year against them.
Yeah. We won that game.
What else you got? What's another favorite moment of yours from the 2020 season?
Another favorite moment of mine, definitely, as he said, the Steelers game. But another favorite moment of mine is Donovan Peoples-Jones double move against the Titans for the touchdown.
Oh, that was pretty good. And once again, another game where I thought, oh no, this could be ugly. We could get smoked. And we just lit the Titans up. And offensively, we were really, really good. We did very good on defense. And I think if I had to pick an MVP of the coaching staff, it might be Joe Woods, because I mean, there were weeks where he was putting nobody out there that anybody knew, especially in the secondary, and he was still able to hang with and sometimes shut teams down with those guys. And he did a great job between him and Bill Callahan. Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, incredible job. How else can you say it when you have COVID, you have lack of practices, Callahan himself getting quarantined for a week, and yet still putting the best offensive line of football out there every week. I think those are two of my favorite spots too.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Donovan Peoples-Jones game-winning touchdown in Cincinnati.
I was just about to say that game as a whole was amazing. That is when Baker showed that he was our starting franchise quarterback. He put up how many touchdowns? 5?
5 touchdowns. I think.
5 touchdowns. Insane stats, including a game winner. Losing Odell early in that game definitely hurt us, but then Donovan Peoples-Jones scoring that final key touchdown, and us being Michigan fans, we of course love that a lot.
Yes, that was very good to see. Very good to see. Another thing that was a bright spot for the Cleveland Browns as an organization. I believe, and I apologize that I did not say her name last episode because I couldn't think of it as we were going. And so I just didn't say her name. But one of the bright spots, the emergence of Chief of Staff, Callie Brownson. She did more than her share as Chief of Staff. She was likely the most valuable member of that staff. She filled in for Browns receivers coach Chad O'Shea during one of the games against the Steelers on January 3rd. And then she also filled in for the Browns tight ends coach, Drew Petzing, in their game against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. She's literally filling in for position coaches, and you would have never known it by the results on the field. And I thought, man, she just really is a valuable part of our organization. And really, I love seeing her in that position. I can't wait to see her possibly move into a coaching position or even a front office position, because she's really smart. She really knows what she's talking about. So that's another one of my favorites of 2020.
That was definitely great. Another one of my favorites was the game against the Ravens. We did not win that game, but that game was amazing. We put up insane stats. Sad that we couldn't win the game, but we played great that game.
I can't believe that we lost to Lamar chucking up a pass to somebody who was just left wide open. That was just mind-boggling to me. But again, that was one of the things with a lot of guys that don't know each other and don't maybe even know the defense. There was miscommunication in the back end a lot this year.
And we were even missing players.
It was one of those moments, right? It was one of those moments. But looking for great things in 2021. What else you got? I think Monday, we are going to break down our mock draft 2.0. We'll talk about some more recent headlines. We will break down any action that's happened between then. I don't know that a lot's going to happen in the next few weeks. It'll probably get pretty quiet. We'll talk about Super Bowl. We'll probably talk about whatever news headlines we find in the meantime. I have to give shout outs. Part of our new section is shout outs. So if you are a listener and you are paying attention, find us on our social media pages. Tell us you want to shout out, and we will gladly give you a shout out during shout out section on our podcast here at the end. Who do we got this week?
Shout out to my boy Patrick and his dog Sassy.
Yes, Patrick and Sassy. We are giving you much love and a shout out to Patrick and Sassy tonight. Don't have anybody else, I don't think, in shout outs right now. I mean, we did kind of shout out Callie Brownson. Who you got?
Javen Franklin also wants a shout out.
Oh, that's right. Javen wants a shout out.
After giving Evan a shout out last week.
We gave Evan
a snippet of a shout out.
A little snippet of a shout out, yes. What else you got? Is that all the shout outs you got?
That's all the shout outs I got for now.
Until you get back to school and everybody's like, hey, give us a shout out.
Yep.
Well, that's all we have for episode 4 of the New Breed podcast. We hope you are enjoying yourself and enjoying your Browns fandom and riding alongside us. Make sure that you get out there wherever you're listening to this podcast, whether you're listening to us, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you're finding us. Even if you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment, leave a review. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know things you want to see. Again, I would love to see a mailbag session where we just take questions from you, the viewers, and answer questions. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yep.
But we're open to anything. So get out there and let us know what you want to see. I know that there have been some good advices coming from folks, and hopefully we've got some things in the works that are going to change this up a little bit. You name it, we're working on it. Help us get better so that you can have a better show to listen to. Anything else you have in closing, Grady?
Nope. That's about it.
If not, we thank you for listening to the New Breed podcast. Yeah, I know your friends think that's stupid, but I don't care.